Hi there, I'm Nick from LIFT, and congratulations on owning the finest equipment that we have ever engineered and delivered from LIFTFoils here in Puerto Rico. Behind me, you'll see the board, the battery, propulsion case, and wing. All are the components that you should have received with your shipment. We're going to open them up, see what's inside, walk through each part and piece, talk about charging, maintenance, assembly, shutdown, safety. We'll go through it bit by bit so that you can understand it. We'll get you out on the water so you can have a great time. Let's start with our propulsion case. This has got a lot of components inside. The case itself is really well built. It's rugged, rigid. It's got really comfortable carrying handles, as well as connectors for the shoulder strap that's on the inside. If I open this up, you're going to see on the inside your Mast motor, what we refer to as our propulsion, is nested inside this case really comfortably. It's not going anywhere. It's got space for the LCS system, which in this case is the jet. You'll see that the hand controller is on the inside of this case as well, and it has its own individual case for living outside. You'll notice there's a magnetic flap here, really slick, where your charger can live. If you're traveling or you want to move your charger around, there's a really good nest for it in here. And then as well, you have a zippered pocket with all of your accessories, straps, cables, hardware, paperwork, everything's in here. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull everything out of this case so we can go through each item individually. So I've gone ahead and I've pulled out all the items from our propulsion case so we can just walk through them briefly and you understand what's in the case and what it's used for. Of course, we've got our propulsion system here. This is just talking a little bit about this. This is a really high quality carbon fiber mast. They use very high modulus carbon, which means high rigidity, high strength for extra performance. You'll see that the motor is integrated into the mast. This is for the LIFT5, so it's our 68 millimeter motor, which offers the most amount of power and torque, a little bit different from our LIFTX. That's a thinner 55 millimeter motor. It comes standard with our LCS jet. Of course, with the LCS system, at the push of a button, you can swap out for different propulsion units, including a shrouded propeller or folding propeller, some of the options that we offer online. You'll notice everything here, there's no assembly that needs to be done. Nothing needs to be touched on this propulsion. These bolts that we'll later go through, those are already torqued down to spec. They're positioned with jigs aligned. All the power connectors are visible for your connection to your board. But again, everything's all set up for you. Nothing needs to be done with this. It's ready to rock and roll. Here we have our hand controller. Again, it comes in its own really nice case. It's a really high quality. This is our Elite hand controller. It's got carbon fiber built into it. All the metal is titanium. The LCD screen is a colored LCD display with GPS. So really high quality hand controller. You have adjustability of the trigger that you can move it back and forth. And inside with the hand controller, you have your charging cable. It's a magnetic charging cable to charge up your hand controller. It's one of the first things that you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and plug that in, and we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit more in detail. You also have your strap for your hand controller to install on the side. We'll walk through that as well. And a little bit of notes and taking care of your LIFT hand controller. So really nice piece of equipment there. We'll put all that nice back. In addition, you have your charger. The charger we'll walk through a little bit as we go through the charging process. But this is a 1200 watt, high quality, fast charger. That's how we get our batteries to charge up really quickly. The power connector for the battery is already assembled. That's easy, as well as there's a Bluetooth module built onto the charger for that wireless connectivity to the battery. Here you have your power supply to your charger, and that we will show you how to connect that here in a bit as we load it up. Connects right there. But first thing that we'll end up doing is charging up our battery and also making sure that our hand controller is fully charged with its charger. So we'll get to that in a second. As well, you have some other important items inside this propulsion case. One, you have your registration paperwork for your board. In most states, your eFoil is considered a personal watercraft. If you're in the United States, you have to check with your government or local authority on what the rules and regulations are of such watercraft. Nevertheless, we have builder certificates and registration papers in here that you might find very handy, so don't lose those, don't discard them. You will have small item, but really comfortable, a nice shoulder strap for your carrying case, the propulsion case. You can hook those onto the outside, really neat feature. You have some extra hardware that we have for wings, tail wings. Of course, our propulsion system's built to allow the LCS wing connection, which is toolless. But if you have other wings from Lift or older wings, you can still bolt into them. And we've supplied you some additional hardware just in case you want to do that. And then you have this small case here, which the cases in themselves are really cool because they're mesh lining. That means that if they get wet, they'll dry up. Everything airs out really nice. Just devils in the details. Really nice work by some of our staff there at Lift. And you'll see on the inside some hardware. You'll have, these are extra seals for your phase connectors and your battery. As we go assembling this, you'll see that there's very little items that need to be sealed, but very important items that need to be sealed. As this mates with the board, you'll see there's a rubber seal on the outside of this propulsion here, as well as individual seals for each phase connector. A lot of power going through the system, and we want to keep all those electrons in the system. And these little seals right here is what makes that happen. All of this is really rugged, very stout components, but just in case, you know, we wanted to give you some extra ones so that you can take good care of it. If you see anything that gets damaged, you can easily replace it yourself. And then this little bottle in here is also very important. It's Real X, amazing stuff. This is anti-corrosive liquid. So very good on your electrical contacts, such as your battery and on the board. We'll go through that as we assemble it. We'll just see how we use this Real X, but it also acts really well as a lubricant for any kind of the mechanisms and stuff. Any surface that basically coats a metal surface and expels water. So it eats away corrosion and prevents corrosion. Really amazing stuff, especially when you're in a saltwater environment. So you want to keep this around as part of your kit for just your basic maintenance that we'll walk through on your eFoil. Let's go ahead and talk about our wings. So I pulled out my wing here. In this case, this is a 210 Camber Pro as we're assembling the 4.4 today. And you'll see that there's already hardware built into this front wing. You don't need to do anything with it. Everything's all set up, but you'll see that it comes standard with your LCS wing connector. This is high grade carbon fiber throughout the wing, high modulus, a beautiful piece of equipment, very rugged, very durable. And then you also have your tail wing here that on first arrival, these will come together separately, and you'll go ahead and put those together and use that little hardware kit to install your tail wing. Once I typically put on my tail wing, rarely do I take it off unless I'm changing from one tail wing to another, but that's on there. So this one's fully assembled. These little pieces right here are just to protect that tail wing in shipping. So that one's ready to go. You have pockets to lock in the front wing and the tail wing in here, as well as this Velcro feature that if I want to install my wing cover while the foil is mounted on the mast, this can go around the mast, and Ober will demonstrate that in a second. So the wings installed inside the bag. Really great thing about these bags is they have a fair amount of padding around them. This is a great way to store your wings just in case you drop it. You're not going to damage the edges and the tips. Not to say that the carbon fiber isn't extremely durable and it can handle that kind of stuff. But if you want to take great care of a really fine piece of equipment, we recommend using these bags. That's how we put so much love into them, so that people actually use them. And a couple other really cool features. You're just gonna see features throughout, just really attention to detail. But you got all these different hooks and stuff too. So if you build a collection of wings like I have in my house, you got a really great place to just hang them on the wall, and you can have your full collection in their cases with the sun off of them and well taken care of. Let's go ahead and unpack your battery. So your battery comes, this is the LIFT5 full range battery, and it comes in this really cool backpack that's ruggedized. It's got ripstop nylon, it's got weatherproof zippers, it's got handles in each direction. It's also got backpack straps, and if you want to get rid of those, you can unclip them and throw them right back in here. So not only is this a great backpack for your battery, but if your battery's inside your board and you want to use it for other things, it's just kind of a cool accessory that comes with the kit. Go ahead and unzip that. And this battery is our full range LIFT5 battery, so it's got some weight to it. You always want to handle it with 2 hands. Okay, I'll set that down over here and we'll take a look at it. You'll see right away it's got a handle here, a handle here. I can lift that with 2 hands. Deck pad built into the battery because that's what we're going to be standing on. And there's a lot of really cool features about this battery pack. It is a ruggedized enclosure. It's actually got triple waterproofing redundancy. It's got triple structural redundancy into it. We've literally run this over with a truck. I don't recommend it, but we've done it. Functions really well. And there's some really amazing ergonomics. So you'll see this is your handle here, and the handle itself is the latching mechanism for your board when you connect it into the board. We'll go through that when we lock it in. But thing to note is, if you feel like this handle doesn't come off, it's because there's a safety latch in here that as you go in, you'll push into that safety latch and then you can lift it up. That's to keep it from becoming dislodged by accident when you're out riding in the water. So all there is to that. You'll also notice that the electrical contacts are down here on the bottom. Those are areas that we want to take care of. And again, using some of that Real X oil, we're going to go through that and talk about how to just protect those electrical contacts that put out a significant amount of amperage. That's all there is to it now. We'll come back to this battery and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Now we've come to our board. And first, let me tell you just some really cool features on this bag. It's chock full of features, so you're gonna have to go through some of the documents and videos that we provide to you if you wanna get into a deeper dive. But really quick, really high-end ripstop materials, padding where necessary to protect your board. You've got different handles on different sides of the board bag so that you can leverage it and carry it where needed. This front pouch right here, you'll find a shoulder strap that you can connect to these features here to carry your board. Really high quality handles available. You also have shoulder backpack straps that you can hook down on here to the bottom or to the sides if you wish to carry this board as a backpack or you're adventuring with your eFoil. So we put that back in there. Lots of great features and functionalities throughout the bag. You have as well this high grade Velcro attachment. That's for our accessory beach wheels. If you want to get that, that's just used to be part of our Elite board bag. Now it's just built into the standard bag that comes with your eFoil. So if you do want to get those, you can easily attach a set of wheels and take this kit anywhere you want. In the front pouch here, if you wanted to install your battery into the board right from the top, you can do that. You can pull your battery in, pull your battery out without taking the board out of its case. You also have on the bottom side the ability to, if you wanted to put your board bag onto its board with the mast on, the Velcro feature allows to wrap around the mast so that you can use this bag fully assembled. And you also have this front top pouch, which is a whole separate compartment that lives with the board. If you want to put in your wing or other items, a wetsuit, anything you want, slides into this part so that you can utilize this bag to the maximum extent. Again, probably even more details that I might be missing out, but just a really great quality bag for a great quality product. Let's get to the board. So go ahead and unzip this guy here. Open it up, and we find a beautiful board. You'll see that it's nestled into this front pouch here to protect the nose. Really nice, tailored fit to each board size. Really job well done by the designers there inside of Lift. Let's go ahead and take it out and we'll talk strictly about the board. So I've gone ahead and I've pulled out my board. In this case, we've got a beautiful 4.4. It's one of my favorites. And there's nothing to do with this board right now, except maybe put in some preventative corrosion X oil into the electrical phase connectors. But overall, just wanted to show you some of the features inside this board that now you're looking at, you're recognizing. And if you're familiar with some of the product in the past, you know, you're gonna see some of the stuff carried forward and just new elegant items, just refinement details. This board here for the LIFT5 is our proprietary forged carbon fiber construction that we build here in Puerto Rico by hand. Beautiful construction, reinforced seams, just, you know, a lot of details into that construction that I think the users will ultimately appreciate. You're gonna notice right away, just there's so fewer components into this board to just simplify it, make it such a really clean design that makes it unique. You've got your two power connectors that connect to your e-box that are living inside of the board, fully accessible, but for the most part, they just live inside the board. You've got your latches for your battery where it locks into. We'll go through that as we assemble this together. You've got somewhat of a short user manual, as well as some of the warnings. Please be sure to read through those. We put them there for a reason. You also have scannable QR codes if you get lost in the process and you want to walk through, you know, what the different steps are for pairing and whatnot. There's some really neat diagrams on the board itself, but you can also scan in to get more user-friendly videos, etc. If we flip this over, you'll notice just some of the high quality paint that's used on this product, the attention to details, the refined shape, all the really clean lines that were built with just high quality tools. Really a marvel for manufacturing on this board. Very proud of it. This is our LCS component here for our mast. Nothing to do. It's just ready to rock and roll. You'll see that the e-box lives underneath the LCS component for the mast, and it typically stays there unless there's any particular reason that it needs to come out. Just word of caution, these inserts here that grab onto the mast are sharp and they use a very high amount of mechanical leverage. So keep your fingers or any digits away from these inserts when operating the lever. Definitely not a toy for kids or something that you want to have them around. So just be cautious with that. As well, you'll see that you have your electrical phase contacts here when we connect the mast in there. Those are the items that we really want to take care of, because those are, they're ruggedized, they're oversized for the amount of electricity, but we pump a lot of power through this board, and those are the contacts that we want to maintain sealed and well taken care of. One other item you'll notice too is you have your MHS number. That's your whole number. Again, in some areas, this is considered a personal watercraft, and that is the registration number for the board that goes hand in hand with the registration papers that we reviewed. Other than that, you know, this board is ready to rock and roll, easy to ride, ruggedized, rinse it with fresh water, and we'll talk a little bit more about the maintenance and how to take proper care of your board. But one really easy way to do that is to keep it inside of its bag when you're not using it. We'll get to more later. Now we're getting to the fun stuff. Let's charge some batteries. Let's get ready to go out and ride. I've got my battery out, I've got my charger out. I'm going to talk just a little bit about these components. Where's a good place to charge? How do we go through the process? All right. First and foremost, as mentioned before, this is a 1200 watt charger. So where do you want to charge this? Probably in a good designated area. You want to use a socket that can handle that kind of power because it's a high powerage device. You don't want to plug it into some sort of shared outlet or extension cord where you have 18 different things plugged into the same plug. Give it its own outlet, give it a nice safe space. I always say, look, charging a battery on your living room sofa is probably not the best place to kind of charge it. So pick a good spot. It's clean. You're not getting rained on. It's electrically safe. That's a good spot for your charger to live. And also keep in mind too, that the charger generates heat when it's charging. The fan will come on and off automatically. It'll happen as is. You don't have to worry about that. But generally speaking, give an area that's well ventilated so that the charger can cool itself off. Never put like a towel or a blanket over the top of the charger because then it can't cool itself down. That being said, this is a very sophisticated, high power charger. It's very smart. It's communicating with the battery constantly, and it can regulate itself if need be. Again, we have our battery here. Very high quality battery. It's good to have a nice designated area that you're going to be charging in. And we'll get ready to set up. At this time, a few things to note. If you just pulled this out of the package, there might be an updated software from when this product shipped to you to when you actually received it. So either before you charge or after you charge is a great opportunity to update the firmware on your different devices. In this case, the charger has firmware at the Bluetooth device, and there's also firmware with the battery. So you pull out your trusty phone, use the LIFT eFoil app, and there are instructions. We have separate instructions on how to update your system. But for the purpose of this video, just want to highlight that it's a good time to update your equipment before you go out and ride it. In addition to doing software updates on your devices, one of the things that you can do right out the gate is apply that Real X oil to the electrical contacts on your battery. You just apply just a little bit of oil, it'll coat the different metals. It's a great step to take before you use your battery the first time. It's going to keep it protected from day one. But this is the power supply from the charger to the battery, and she connects right down there and lays flat. It can be on a table, on a bench, or whatnot. So that's now connected, and there's actually a safety feature here, a magnetic safety feature, that if that power connector is not nestled into the battery, it will not connect, it will not flow. So that has to be nestled in appropriately, laying in there. Once everything's good to go, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my charger to get power to the charger. You'll see LEDs come alive on the back side of this charger. That means it's receiving power, but the battery is still turned off and the charger Bluetooth communication is still turned off. So I'll go ahead and power up my battery. And to power up my battery is very simple. I'll give a single press and then a press and hold until I get blue lights on my battery. It'll go 1 to 5, back down to 1. One blue LED on my battery indicates that it is awake and it is looking to pair with something, whether it's going to pair to your surfboard, your charger, or a cell phone for your app. That one blue LED needs to be on for it to be looking for something. Likewise, the charger, now I'm going to turn on the Bluetooth device on the charger, single press. I get a blue LED on the charger. Now I have a green LED on my battery, which means it's connected, and the pairing sequence has begun, and it's only moments away before the charger activates and begins to charge the battery. You will hear a click on the charger to give it power, and now we have green LEDs blinking on the battery itself to indicate state of charge. So one blinking green LED is an empty battery, and as it gets all the way up to the 5th blinking LED, that's when it's full. When the charging process is complete, the battery and the charger will automatically disconnect, but they will remain paired and turned on. You don't want to leave it for extended periods of time turned on by itself. When the process is done, go ahead and turn off the battery. You can repeat the process by turning off the charger, and I can disconnect it. It goes back to one single blue LED, and go ahead and turn off my battery by pressing and holding so that it goes to no LEDs. Now all items are disconnected, and I will remove my power supply from my charger. One item to note as well is that the handle, you want the handle to be pressed into the battery for it to engage. The handle itself has a magnetic sensor that it only actuates when it's closed, in the closed position. When it's open, it doesn't allow power to flow through. Okay, so we've charged our big battery for the surfboard. We want to make sure that our hand controller is charged and up to date. This is a great opportunity again to maybe connect to your cell phone, to the LIFT eFoil app, and make sure that the software is the most up-to-date software available. Again, maybe the software has changed from when the product was shipped from the factory to when you're receiving it. So you always want to be riding that most up-to-date, and there's step-by-step instructions on the LIFT eFoil app to do that, but this is a great opportunity and time to do that. For charging it, very simple. This USB-C cable is included in your hand controller case. The power supply is not included, but it is universal and readily available, and it uses a magnetic sensor to clip together and charge, and you will see a green blinking light that indicates that the hand controller is now charging, and you'll leave that there for, until it's full, maybe the night before or the day of that you're going to ride. Be sure to get a full charge on that battery. Note, the charge time lasts a significant amount of time. I would say that I rarely charge my hand controller, but I use it every single day. So getting one good full charge on there is going to last you for a lot of hours of fun. Another note is on those electrical contacts, great opportunity too, again, to use your Real X oil on those little electrical contacts to keep them from corroding. Any bit of corrosion inside of those contacts can cause the charger to not allow to charge. There'll be a little film in between, so you can clean out those contacts or apply a little bit of oil, and that keeps the charging process nice and clean. With that, we're pretty much ready to go set up and ride. All of our batteries are charged up. We're about ready to ride. So we got our board out, we got our propulsion out. Everything's really simple. If I haven't yet put on Real X into my phase connectors, now's a good time to apply that to each phase connector. And I want to just make sure that there's no sand or debris inside of my connectors. All of that can cause friction, rubbing. If you were using it before and there's sand all over it, you want to take advantage and just rinse it out thoroughly with fresh water and make sure that you get all that stuff off, because you don't want metal electrical contacts scraping on each other. I'm going to go ahead and grab my propulsion system, and I'm going to just do a quick inspection here of my seals. You're going to see that there are redundancies in the seals. There's multiple lips here that each seal water out, but I just want to make sure that nothing's broken, everything's in its place, and we're ready to connect. So lever up, go ahead and firmly install my mast straight down into the connectors. I just want to make sure that everything's flush here before I go closing that lever. I want to make sure that it's seated down properly. I'll apply a little bit of pressure from the top and then lock that in there. That sweet sound means that everything's properly connected and nice and tight. Nothing's sticking up, everything's flush. We are good to set up our wing. To install your wing, really simple. we'll just go ahead and open up that LCS system, and you'll see this little fin right here is a safety latch. That needs to push forward for the lever to come out. If I don't push that safety latch forward, this lever doesn't come off. That's a safety feature so that it doesn't come off in the water when you're riding. So I push that little lever forward, pull the latch back. Now it's fully opened. Now I'll bring it over to my mast. First thing I want to do is lock into that front lever. Slide that guy in there, pull it back, pull this down. And that lever's down, it's nice and tight. To remove it, it's the same thing. I have to put the safety lever forward, pull that latch up, and I just push off the back wing to rotate it off. Nice and easy with the LCS system. And now she is on tight and ready to ride. Our board's set up, mast is on, wing is on. We've charged our battery, we've charged our hand controller, and we're ready to ride. Go ahead. Make sure you handle this battery with 2 hands. This is our full range LIFT5 battery. And you'll see that first you're gonna slide it in to these levers there with the handle open. I'll put it down nice and firm. Lowering that handle locks the battery into the board. It's as simple as that. Remember, to remove the battery, there's a metal safety latch on the inside. You depress that button to pull the handle out, and you remove it just like you put it back in. But we're going surfing. Lock her into place, make sure she's secure, and we're ready to fire it up. Now, we got our board in here, our battery's in here. Quick note, before we hit the water, I know we're excited. We updated our hand controller software, we updated our battery software, we updated the charger software, but we have not yet updated our e-box software. I have to turn the surfboard on to power the e-box, and from there, I can use my phone to go to the LIFT eFoil app, connect directly to the e-box that is embedded inside of the board, and follow the step-by-step instructions to update your surfboard firmware. With that, you will have updated all 4 devices. Software is the best of the best, and you are ready to rock and roll. But let's go ahead and fire it up. So to turn on the board, really easy, just like we did with the charger. 1 button turns the battery on. A press and a hold brings on your blue light, and the system comes alive. 1 blue light means the battery is turned on. 4 blue lights means that the e-box is now active and powered up. And the 5th blinking blue light means that it is searching for a hand controller. Because our hand controller right now is turned off, it's waiting to pair to any hand controller that's around. So just that 5th blue blinking light just means that it's looking for a hand controller. I'll go ahead and turn on my hand controller. And in this case, hand controller's paired. If it's brand new, it might go straight to the Bluetooth page. Or if I have to pair it to the hand controller, I'll go into my settings menu, and that top item that's the Bluetooth signal with the surfboard, I'm going to hit select. I'm going to get the Bluetooth on the screen here, and I'll see that as I bring the hand controller closer to the board, that 5th blue blinking light starts blinking faster as they become aware of each other, and as an automatic pairing process. Here I have a green check mark and a sound, an audible sound, means that my hand controller is now paired to my board, and I can see that I have the battery level from the surfboard indicated on the right hand side here of the hand controller. Now that the hand controller is paired up, test it, clear prop. Everything's functioning well, we're ready to go to the water. It's worth taking the time to learn something about your hand controller, the different features and functionality that are embedded in there. You have GPS, mapping, amperage readings, which tell you how much power you're using. There's an auxiliary set of screens that tell you information about your board. Probably a little too much to go into detail with this video, but make sure you check out more videos on the hand controller and read the instructions, because there's a lot of cool stuff that we built into there. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. and we're ready to hit the water. Since we're gonna hit the water, we're gonna have some fun. Let's give you just a quick note on safety. We all wanna have a great time. Let's be safe in doing it. I think one of the most important things is to review as much information as you can before you engage in the sport. If you're brand new to the sport, we have extensive videos over the years that we've been doing this that talk about how to use your equipment, how to fall off your equipment, what environments you should be riding in. So definitely review those, look through the manual, read the warning labels, talk to your friends that maybe have experience with it, get together with an affiliate, maybe take a lesson, learn as much as you can about the sport, about the product, so that you can go out and have a good time while being safe. Some of those items, I like to really know my environment. Make sure that you're going out into waters that you feel comfortable in, waters that you can swim home in if you have to. Be aware of the product. It's got a certain amount of weight to it. It has blunt objects like the fins and the mast that if they hit you, it can hurt. The wings are sharp. You know they can cut. You have a live propeller on your motor. All things that can be managed in a very safe, fun experience, but you want to be aware of those and know how to utilize it. You want to know your craft, so to speak. I think one of the very important items too is not just safety for yourself, but safety for others, right? As this sport continues to grow, when we get out there, we want to respect the public. We want to respect other people that are enjoying the water too. If it's swimmers, surfers, kayakers, or anybody that's just out in the water, give them plenty of space. Your eFoil has a massive amount of range. It has a lot of capability. One of the beauties about it is that you can go out and find your own space, find your own wave. There's no need to be zipping by people at close distances. That just makes them scared. You can hurt somebody, so don't do that. Try to be a good representative of the sport and this growing industry, and make safe choices for you and for your community. We just had a great ride. We're coming out of the water. How do we shut it down? Same way we put it all together. The beauty of this system is that it's very simple, easy to use, easy to take apart. First things first, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my board via the battery, just the same way that I turned it on. There's a press and a hold until I see the blue lights counting down from 5 to 1 to 0. My system is now shut down. There's no electricity going through here. And I can go ahead and rinse off my board. The most important thing you can do with your product for its longevity is to give it just a freshwater rinse. That's it. A lot of people ask me, like, what kind of maintenance do you have to do? Just freshwater rinse. That's about it. It also comes with its beautiful bags, right, that are very useful. Store your equipment in those bags, and it will last you a long time. I'll go ahead and take out my battery. If I have any kind of sand left over or salt water, I'll go ahead and rinse out the compartment. I can even rinse directly on the battery and the electrical contacts. Again, I want to keep those electrical contacts in the battery very clean. And if I have to apply like an electrical contact cleaner, I can. And if I want to reapply some Real X anti-corrosive oil, you can do that as much as you want. You're not going to hurt the battery. You're only going to protect the metals. Same thing with the board. Put that guy down. My hand controller down. Come on over here. Flip it over. I'll go ahead and pop off my wing. And if I need to rinse it with fresh water, get all these mechanisms, do it as needed. This is stainless steel and titanium, so nothing that's corrosive, but if you want to use that Real X oil on some of the mechanisms, you absolutely can. And I'll put my wing there with my cover. And I'll come down here to remove my mast, one arm on the lever. Pop that lever all the way up to the top, and then I'll just wiggle the mast loose and pull straight out, okay? And in this case too, you can get sand and debris that gets on the LCS component or inside with the E-box that's below the LCS. So here you definitely want to take fresh water and rinse out any kind of sand, let it drain out. Maybe cycle the lever a couple times. Just make sure you get all the sand off of it and everything's really clean. It's a good opportunity as well to inspect your phase connectors. Make sure that your seals are intact and clean. And again, if you have to put any kind of Real X oil, you don't have to do it every single time, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Just make sure your electrical contacts are well taken care of, your seals are well taken care of. You know, if you notice anything, it's good to fix it, because if you don't fix it, the next time that you go out and ride could cause damage to your product. So that's all there is to that. You definitely want to put all of your equipment into its designated bags and cases. That's what they're made for. You'll protect your equipment, you'll keep it out of the sun, put it on its rack. That way it's going to last you for years and years to come. That's about it. We've covered all the basics to go through the product and get you out on the water having some fun. That being said, we haven't covered everything, so be sure to check out the website, look through the user manual, check out the many videos that we have online. There's so much to learn about the product and the sport. There's lots of great features embedded into that product. So review everything, check out all the resources, but most importantly, go out, have some fun, and we'll see you on the water.